What is up, guys? Man, welcome back to another live stream. It's been a long time coming. Um, if you guys haven't already, make sure to follow my social media on Instagram, Dehvin Simms. Also follow me on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. Um, guys, this is going to be a really good video, so let's turn to a viewer. So, positive, man. You mind introducing yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Positive. My real name is Dylan, and I'm 26 years old. I'm a full stack developer. I did the whole digital nomad thing for a few years. Now I'm staying in Austin, probably until January, and then after that, not sure. I spent a few weeks in Hawaii a couple months ago. I might go back there. Still trying to figure it out, or maybe Miami. We'll see.
Oh, dope, bro. Love to see it, man. So, what made you come to Bangkok, Thailand, man?
Bangkok. Like a lot of stories that involve young men. It was a girl that initially brought me to Thailand. So I was seeing this girl and she really wanted to go to Thailand. So I said, okay, whatever, let's go. And we spent about a month and a half, almost 2 months in Thailand. And Bangkok was just one of the many stops. We started in Phuket and we bounced around a lot. And we were supposed to finish in Chiang Mai, but never did. But yeah, that's how I ended up in Bangkok. Was we were just bouncing around island to island. We had to see it. It's the capital city, you know.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So, what time of the year do you think is best to travel to Bangkok, Thailand?
Oh man, I wish I knew. Um, I should have prepared ahead of time. I don't know what time of year is best. We were there at the very start of the rainy season, which meant it wasn't super crowded, and it didn't rain that much, honestly. So, um, flights are cheaper. There's less people around, so maybe at the very end of the dry season, start of the rainy season, that might be a good time to go.
Oh, wow. Good time,
Yeah, because they only have two seasons over there. They don't have like summer, winter, fall, and spring. They actually just have it's dry now and now it's wet. That's what they have
man. Wow, I actually never heard of that, bro.
because it's hot all year round. So it's like now we have water, now we don't. That's it. That's their seasons.
Oh, man. So, what would you say is the best tourist spot in Bangkok, Thailand?
The best what spot?
Tourist spot.
The best tourist spot. Man, the best tourist spot is kind of off limits to tourists. There is a there's a giant there's a giant building that's part of this shopping complex. There's a big mall in the center of the city, and it's like on the fourth or fifth floor. There's a lobby level because it's supposed to be a hotel. This giant building, and the best spot in the whole city is you pretend like you're visiting. If you're not Thai, then if you walk in, and especially if you're speaking English as you walk in, no one's gonna stop you. You walk in, go to the elevator, go to the roof. All the way up on the roof, you have this insane view of the city, and you're not supposed to be there, but that's definitely the best tourist spot. Oh, also, they got a Michelin star restaurant. I don't know if they still have it. I can look it up and see if they still have. It's called Zuma,
Mm.
and it's still around. It survived the pandemic, so that's cool. And it had, at least when I went there, a Michelin star, and I ate there. It was two of us. We had lamb chops and salad and sushi and dessert for both of us at a Michelin star restaurant for $50. So definitely that's a spot to check out.
Oh, wow, man. That's crazy. You would not expect that if you go there, would
No, you'd never expect that. Well, you hear from people when you're about to go, like everything's so cheap there, but you never really know because especially when you go to the capital city, things get a little more expensive. So if you were gonna get like a knockoff Adidas sweatshirt on one of the islands, it'd be like $10. But when you get to the city, it's like 20, $30. You're like, oh, it's starting to get like real city prices. I'm not sure how like this fancy restaurant's gonna be, but yeah, it was unreal, super cheap.
you?
Yeah.
So, how much money to actually live comfortably, just getting by or lavish?
You know what? There's for anyone interested, there's a website called nomadlist.com. Actually, yeah, nomadlist.com, and it gives you an index of every city where you could be a digital nomad at. So I'm just pulling up the record for Bangkok, Thailand. It says $1,277 per month. And that's like room and board and like entertainment and restaurants and everything all together. $1,200 a month. You're chilling. Like you're having a good time out there.
Bro, you know what's funny, man? I know the exact website you're talking about, bro. That website
Yeah.
is really good. Guys,
Yeah.
you have to check out that website, man. It shows like all the different countries and it shows like a breakdown, like the cost of living, the places to go, visit,
They also,
communities, events.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
Oh, no, you're fine.
They also say how good the internet is, how safe it is. They have a whole index of like every important factor.
It's literally a hidden gem, guys. You gotta check it out,
Yeah,
man.
it's great.
Make
You
sure
can
you
also
get that
find jobs
passport.
there. Yeah. So when I was in between jobs, I was looking on this website for other remote jobs. So they have like a whole job board section where you can find a lot of it is even entry level. So data entry or customer service, stuff like that, fully remote. And you can just get your ass out of America and go somewhere super cheap. And even on like a customer service job, you're living pretty good. Yeah.
Time to get out of America, man.
Yeah.
Time to fly.
Well, yeah, but I'm a big fan of America either way. I wouldn't suggest leaving altogether, like expatting, like a lot of people do. But yeah, definitely, if this is something that interests you, got to get out of your system. Go
Yeah.
explore, man. Go explore.
So what about the apartments there? Is it really
Um,
nice, modern, convenient?
yeah. So it's a super modern city. It's basically developed. Here and there, you have the type of issues that you'd expect from a place where everything's super cheap and the infrastructure is not really good. So electricity goes out here and there. Hot water is scarce. So you end up taking like lukewarm or cold showers, which for me was fine because I took cold showers on purpose just because it's really hot out there. And it was like I was sticky all the time and sweaty. And I was like, I want to cool down for a little bit. So I take cold showers anyway. Um, but in terms of like what kind of apartment you're gonna get, yeah, they're fine, totally like you'd get in any other major city. One thing though is that they have like infrastructure type problems. So electricity, sometimes you'll have bugs. Like we stayed at one hotel that had bed bugs. And so at
What?
2 or 3 in the morning, we get up and there's little bugs crawling around. Like, what the fuck is that? And then I like took a picture and then I Googled because I had a feeling. I Googled the word bed bugs and it was 1-to-1. It was like my picture was straight from Google Images. It was crazy. So we got moved to another room that didn't have bed bugs. But like if one room in a hotel has bed bugs, they probably all have them. So we left that hotel the next day.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the preferred transportation over there?
It's called a tuk-tuk. You ever heard of a tuk-tuk?
I have not.
Tuk-tuk is a little motorcycle with a back seat that has like an umbrella, and it's like seats 2 people, maybe 3 in the back seat, and the guy up front drives, and you sit in the back, and you just go out on the street. And there are tuk-tuk drivers who are driving these little automobiles, and they take you around the city anywhere you want to go for like 20 baht, 30 baht, 40 baht, which is like $2, $3, $4, $5.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, this is man, that's why I always say, guys, make sure you get that passport, man. Explore the areas, man. Travel, get out there, because now you can experience new experiences, man.
Do you wait? Hold on. When you say get that passport, do you mean like get their American passport?
Yeah, American passport.
Okay. So for me, that like goes right over my head because I've got I've got 3 passports, and I've always bounced around different places because my
Yeah.
family never stayed in one place. So for me, even the idea of someone not having a passport is like, what do you have a driver's license? Why don't you get a fucking passport? What are you doing? It's the same. It's the same. You gotta leave the country at some point. You've never been to Canada? It's like I just drive 30 minutes some places.
Yeah.
Get your passport.
Oh. So what is the everyday food choices over there in Bangkok, Thailand?
Every day for me, curry. I love curry, and they got amazing green
Oh my
curry,
goodness, bro. I do too.
coconut curry, man. Oh my god, I'll have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't care. And then like the typical stuff you get over there is like tom yum soup, which is super spicy sour shrimp soup. Which one time I got food poisoning eating because the shrimp was not good.
Oh wow.
It tasted like the street. It tasted like some,
That's
and
three.
like I was like, maybe this is just some interesting flavor that they use here. It was no, that's not. I like threw up 30 minutes later. But yeah, you have tom yum. Have a lot of food on a stick. So lots of like grilled chicken or hot dogs. There's just stuff on a stick, which is super common. And they sort of, every big city, even all the small cities, they have little markets where it's just food stands everywhere. And you tend to see the same foods. It's like interesting types of hot dogs on a stick. You'll have like imitation shumai and imitation sushi, their own kind of like, we kind of do sushi here. Look at this, like that type of thing. Not super authentic, but yeah. So you have like a lot of Asian foods there, obviously. But the Thai stuff is mostly the curries and the pad thais, the noodles, the drunken noodles. They really like soft shell crab, which is amazing. I love soft shell crab. I had no idea until I went there that there's a crab that you can eat, and I thought it like, how did they take out the meat and then they fry it? And no, it's the shell of the crab is soft enough that you fry it, and it tastes like fried chicken. It's like that texture.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was super cool. Yeah, so soft shell crab, shrimp, seafood, and then what am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yeah. So all the meat they get from New Zealand or Australia because that's the closest place where they can get like cattle. So they'll do lamb chops everywhere, steaks everywhere, but it's all New Zealand type. It's all imported, but it's good, not bad.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. So what would you say is the street food cost? Is it pretty cheap?
Everything's like 10 baht. Let me quickly check. 10 baht to US dollars. 25 cents. Yeah, so a stick with some food on it. A stick with some food on it that's grilled, 10 baht, 20 baht.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I haven't been there since 2018, roughly. So inflation happened, COVID happened, prices are for sure different, but yeah, depending on where you are, it's gonna be like $1 ish for like a skewer with some meat on it. And I had lamb chops for 2 people, plus like appetizers and desserts and alcohol for like $15. So yeah, it's super cheap.
You would imagine that if you're doing keto, you do really well over there, man, because a lot of meat on the street.
You have to. Yeah. There's meat everywhere, and I don't know what it is exactly. I think you kind of avoid vegetables there because one, they're expensive over there because they don't really grow a lot of vegetables themselves. They grow papaya salad. That's another super common food that you'll get in Thailand, which I love. Is one of my favorite foods in the world. But super spicy, not ripe papaya, green papaya, and they shred it into really thin slices, and it's really crunchy and has a unique flavor to it. And they put like fermented fish sauce on it, which there you get used to it, but when you smell it, it's horrible. Oh, terrible. It smells like something's gone bad. But yeah, the papaya salad, that's pretty much the only vegetables you'll get over there is like not ripe papaya and maybe some cherry tomatoes. You get peanuts, which is not really a vegetable, legume, but yeah. A regular salad, lettuce, cucumber, not common at all. Even bell peppers, not common. I think they have to import them. So that whole area, Thailand, Japan, vegetables super expensive because they don't grow them themselves. So you end up eating a lot of meat and a lot of noodles. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense, man. So how's the health and fitness over there? Everybody pretty much in shape, hitting the gym.
Well, the Thai people, they're all in shape. They're all very skinny, and the people that are working are like shredded. They're like skinny shredded. They're the type of. You ever been on Instagram and you see a video of a guy just like smashing coconuts over and over, and he does it all day long?
Yeah.
So he's just like shredded, but like he's just no fat on his body, like scrawny guy, but just shredded. That's what all the dudes look like over there. I don't remember seeing a single fat Thai person. Maybe the monks. They have on the shrines, they have monks, and the monks can sometimes get a little a little thicker. I think it's because they're government subsidized, so their food just comes to them for free. They don't have to work for it. So
Oh, that's
as long as
convenient.
they're monks, it was the craziest thing, man. I was at a shrine, and they're Buddhists over there. They have their own kind of Buddhism, but they're Buddhists. And one of the main things about Buddhism is having no ego, having no attachment. And it was the most fucked thing I ever saw in my life. Was this monk pulled up his phone and was looking at his Facebook at a picture that he uploaded on his Facebook and showing another monk how many likes he got. And to me, I was like, this doesn't make sense at all. Like,
Yeah.
how are you doing this right now? So that was a bit of a mind blowing experience there.
Well, that's really new, man. Never heard that about Bangkok, Thailand. Like, yeah, most over there get free food like that.
Yeah. So the charity goes to like paying for the shrines and upkeep and paying for the monks to eat. Someone's got to take care of the shrine and do the religious work of the country, I guess.
So, how would you say their fashion sense over there?
Their fashion sense. All of the foreigners look like they're going to Coachella, and all of the people that live there look like they just got out of I don't know, TJ Maxx. I think that's as good as I can encompass it. So all of the tourists are like neon green tank tops, like paint on them, and because it's like a party place. Bangkok not as much as the other islands, but yeah, it's all the tourists are very easily visible, and then all of the Thai people are like just kind of normal, but also like they just found whatever laying around and they put it on because they don't really give a shit about that. They are hustling their asses off. They need to make as much money as they can every single day because their whole life is a retail thing. They have one little stand on a row of a bunch of other little stands, and they're all competing for the tourist money. So they don't give a fuck the way they're dressed. They want to make that sale.
That's hilarious, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Uh, so, how do you say their day life and nightlife is over there?
Day life, very chill. It's mostly a competition of all the restaurants for your attention. So you'll go out in the afternoon and there will be two or three Thai people standing outside of their restaurants trying to hook you in. Look at this amazing deal we have. Oh, you're a tourist. Where are you from? Like trying to like get your attention and pull you in. So it's like it's a very alive, and there's a bunch of tours going on. Basically, it's very entertaining. The day is very, very entertaining. And so is the evening, honestly, because at night it's the same thing. It's a competition between all the different bars for who can like put on the craziest show to bring in the most tourists. So you've got like people will walk up to you and be like, "Oh, I have a scorpion on a stick. Do you want to eat this? We're also cooking a whole alligator. Look at that. Isn't that wild?" And there's a whole cart full of crickets. I'm sure you've never seen this before. And then like
Never.
beside that, there's a guy who comes up to you and goes, "Have you ever seen a girl shoot a ping pong ball out of her?" And you're like, "No, I haven't." And he's like, "Why don't you come over here?" It's crazy, wild west parties and loud music. And some of my favorite places in Thailand are just they're sort of like 6th Street in Austin, where they close off the street to cars. It's only walking traffic. It's a long road, and on both sides, you've got competing bars and nightclubs blasting their music, trying to make it look really cool, trying to pull you in, and it's a party, man. It's a party. You go, you get fucked up, you have a good time, and what can I say? That's the nightlife, man. It's great.
Wow. Guys, if you haven't already, man, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And Dylan over here is dropping gems for you guys. Bangkok, Thailand, bro. Support it, man.
Yeah.
So, how would you say is the best places to meet the girls over there in Bangkok, Thailand?
That one I can't really answer, unfortunately, because I was there with a girl at the time, so I wasn't really paying much attention to other women. What I hear though is that just get on a dating app. If you're not Thai and you go there, you're like a celebrity. So get on any dating app, Tinder. I have another friend named Dylan who told me that his Tinder would just go crazy when he was over there. So I would say dating apps. It's a little weirder meeting actual Thai girls in person, but it really depends where you are. And other than that, meeting tourists is easy. So if you're staying at a hostel, you're going to meet everyone in there no matter what, because everyone's there to party. So you're going to meet everyone first day. Just be a little bit outgoing, introduce yourself, say, hey, look, why don't we go to this party? Why don't we go to this bar? Whatever. Everyone's going to be down because that's like the tourist culture that exists over there. It exists in a lot of places, but Thailand especially is like, you show up on the first day and it's going to be you and two guys from Germany and a girl from Sweden and two guys from France and a couple girls from Denmark, and everyone's going to be like, what are we doing? Let's go party. And so it's easy, super easy to like meet people over there because that's what people are there to do. They're like there to have a fun experience, meet new people, and have fun.
So would you say the woman over there is pretty feminine compared to the West?
Um, I wouldn't say so. So it depends because my experience with women over there was mostly shopkeepers and people with their own small businesses trying to make a living. So most of the women that I met, they're not the tourists. When you say like are women over there more feminine, I'm assuming you mean like the native population.
Yeah.
So they were everyone there was much more masculine because they had to be, because they need to eat that day. So they have a hustle culture that's going hard. And hustle is not a very feminine thing, I wouldn't say. But at the same time, this lady who's trying to sell you an extra shirt, you want to buy one, buy three. Come on, buy three. She also has her baby sitting on her side over here at the same time. So these women are incredibly motherly, but at the same time, they're running their business. Their husband is out doing the tuk-tuk or doing boat tours or something. They're by themselves running the shop. They need a hustle, so they're taking care of the family. They're holding the baby on the side. That's the feminine part, but then they have the masculine part, which is like sales and like hustle. So I wouldn't necessarily say they're more feminine. The younger women, the ones in school or the ones in university, I mean, or the ones that you meet like at a club or something, I didn't really have much exposure to because I was there with the girl. So I wouldn't be able to tell you about that. But the older women were very much like matriarchal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be like the best places to meet girls?
Could you ask that again? I think you cut out a little bit.
Oh, what would you say is the best places to meet each woman in general
Thai
of
women?
Thailand? Yeah.
I don't really know. Maybe nightclubs, possibly, but I don't really know what the people that actually live there do. Meeting tourists would be easy, but to meet a Thai girl, probably dating apps, I think. Yeah, they're so I wouldn't say more feminine, but more modest. They have a culture there where wearing like very revealing clothing is against the rules, and girls tend to like either be in groups of girls or like with their men or with their family. They don't really go around by themselves. So here in the States, you'd be able to approach a girl or a group or a girl and her girlfriends, and it's like a socially acceptable thing where if you're at a bar or you're on the street but at night, like outside of a bar, there are lots of socially acceptable places to do that. I don't really know exactly how that works in Thailand because they have like a modesty culture where that type of thing might be frowned upon. So if they're not even cool wearing like short skirts or booty shorts, then it might not be the best thing to be like to go up to a girl with her girlfriends or with her family and try to hit on her. I think the dating apps are the best way to go.
Yeah. Mm. Um, so would you say the people over there, do they speak English? Do you know like not experience, but the percentage based on your experience?
The percentage of people that speak English fluently is like 10%. The people that work at hotels or the people that are constantly dealing with tourists, they speak pretty decent English. But the further out you go into the country and the further away from like a major hotspot you go, the less English you'll be able to encounter, and it'll get harder and harder. So a lot of places did like Google Translate on my phone. There's a gas station that I went to where a person didn't speak any English at all, so I was like typing into my phone, showing them the screen. Person couldn't read, so that was really hard to communicate because I tried to. That happened more than once at the gas station, and then it also happened where I was trying to tell a motorcycle driver they don't really do taxis. They have guys on motorcycles or guys on tuk-tuks, which is a motorcycle with an extended back where you can sit. So I'm trying to explain to this motorcycle driver that I want to go to this place called Coconut Island, and he has to take me to the port. And I try to tell him in English. He's not really understanding. I try to Google the words in Thai so that he can read them. I show him the screen. He doesn't know how to read Thai. He doesn't, like, he's illiterate, so he doesn't
Oh,
know. Yeah. So I had to type into Google the name of the island that I wanted to go to, listen to it from the Google Translate, and then speak that back to him. Ko Plau, Ko Plau. And he's like, oh, Ko Plau. So we were like, okay, cool. Then he eventually took us to the place. But yeah, English, and even in some places, even Thai is kind of difficult because, yeah, at the end of the day, it is not a really developed country. And so you're going to run into people that haven't had a proper education and just started working as soon as they could because they need to make a living, man. The people that live out there, they're working to survive. They're feeding their family, feeding their kids. So education sometimes falls by the wayside there.
speaking of actual jobs, now for the tourists to actually go to Bangkok, Thailand, yeah, have you ever seen any tourists over there with work? What kind of jobs do they have?
So I was sitting at a place where it was an upstairs. It was a bar that had a downstairs and an upstairs, and the upstairs was like a sunroom lounge type of area. And I asked a couple people what they did. One guy asked what he does, and he said that he owns Bitcoin ATMs. Another person that I asked, they were in customer service. And another person that I asked, let me see if I can remember. There were developers there that I met as well. So it was mostly tech stuff, but also sometimes customer service.
Yeah, I kind of expected that. I know the viewers out there wanted to know because I know they wanted to experience the world and travel up there, Bangkok, Thailand, Japan, all these other countries, man. Dubai. There's a lot of options, man, and that's definitely good insight right there. Um, so, have you had any experiences with any rich people over there in Bangkok, Thailand?
Experiences with rich people. So I guess the guy that I met who owns Bitcoin ATMs, he was for sure rich because he like he what this was like a co-working space. He sat down, he opened up his laptop, he looked, and then he closed it. He was good. So he was just checking and make sure he had his money, and that's it. So like the rich people over there are like tech people, Bitcoin people, like crypto people, and I don't know, they're there to party, man. They're there to have a good time. So they're kind of like anybody else. They don't really act so different. And everything's so cheap there. It's not like balling out is a big deal. Anyone can ball out there. So yeah, rich people there are just regular people.
Um, so, would you say there's any negative traits over there in Thailand that you could think of?
Any negatives?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, and this is like a me thing, sometimes it feels exploitative being over there. We went to this place where it was like an elephant sanctuary, and we were doing like a ride on an elephant, which made me feel bad first because I was like, I don't want to ride an elephant, but I like the girl that I was with really wanted to, so I was like, fuck it, let's give it a try. And then after we left the main area, first, like, they don't treat the animals right, and it's fucked up, but it puts into perspective the entire situation over there. If you need to survive and you need to feed your family, you don't really give a fuck how you're treating your elephant. You care about you and your own right now. And once that's covered, then you get to start thinking about how you're affecting the environment around you. And so it like brings into view kind of human nature and the way things work over there. So a lot of the businesses that you go to, that's their only source of income. And if tourists don't go there, they're going to starve. And that's like, it became brutally honest when we're sitting on this elephant. And after 5 minutes, we're in this area where they do a big loop. And we're in this area where we're far away from the entrance. And we look to the left and we see kind of like a shack made out of sheet metal. And there's two people in there just sitting. And that's where they live. And I was like, okay, I feel really bad that I'm doing this to this elephant, but this is the only way these people have of making money. I get it. I get why they would operate this way. So the downside is that sometimes you run into situations where you feel like you might compromise your morals, because you feel it's like when you go to Disneyland, because it's in the States, no one's being exploited. Or it depends, if you're like a socialist or a communist, then you think everyone's being exploited. But what I mean is, like, people are being treated okay. But over there, that the threshold is very, very thin. And like, you can get to the edge of what's acceptable behavior very quickly. So yeah, another thing is, sometimes it doesn't feel very safe. Other times it feels very safe, but sometimes it doesn't feel safe at all. So when you get to like Kopipi, for example, and someone tells you that the entire island is owned by the mafia, you go, okay, well, that's a little sketchy. And it didn't happen to me, but I had a couple people come up to me one day and they were like really upset. And I asked them what happened, and they go, this cop pulled us over and charged us $1,200 US because we were riding motorcycles. And we were allowed to, and we had our licenses and everything, but this cop was just not leaving us alone. And he told us he would put us in jail unless we paid him. And so that kind of like corruption type of stuff happens there as well. So that's one of the possible downsides, is that you can get taken advantage of. Other than that, it's a beautiful place.
That was a good story, though, man. So, how do you say the religion is over there? I know you mentioned monks, so I'm guessing Buddhism.
Yeah, it's primarily Buddhism, but there are some places where Islam is the main religion. So there's some areas where you'll stop seeing Thai monks and Buddhist shrines, and you'll start seeing mosques, and you'll hear the call to prayer a few times a day, and you'll see women wearing hijab or burqa or whatever. So there are areas where it's mainly Islam, but most of the country is Buddhist.
Okay. So, what percentage of Islam do you think, like the people there, do you think it's
10%,
available?
probably 10%. How much of Thailand is Muslim? 5%. I was close.
That's pretty close, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Um, so, do you have any extra stories for the viewers out there about Thailand, Bangkok?
About Bangkok. Let me see. I've got videos, and they will remind me, because my memory itself is not very good. Oh, there's a mall out there. I wanted to get real shoes, and I thought since I was in Bangkok, I'd be able to get real shoes, not knockoffs for $10, but like real shoes for $50. We went to this Nike store, and I'm pretty sure I ended up buying knockoffs, but just for $50 instead of for $10, just because we're in the main city. A lot of the shrines you go to, you have to be dressed a certain way. So, and they have different rules for women and for men. So, for women, you're not allowed to have your back showing. You're not allowed to have one really cool thing. You're not allowed to have a Buddha tattoo on you. If you go there and you have a Buddha tattoo, they won't let you in, because apparently, like, to them, it's disrespectful.
In
You can't be
Bangkok,
wearing.
Thailand? Like anywhere?
So at going to one of these shrines, so I have a picture here. It says it's wrong to use Buddha as tattoo decoration. It means no respect. I have this picture here. Yeah. So some places take that seriously. You can there's like a river that runs through Bangkok, or is it the ocean? But there's a body of water there that you could rent a boat and drive down that body of water, and it's just beautiful at night. Everything lights up. It's amazing. You can see the whole side of the city, and you have the shrines, and you have the tall buildings, and it's excellent. So definitely check that out if you're going to go over there. For all my Jews, there's a Sabich restaurant there. Sabich is it's a pita with chatzil. It's eggplant and hard-boiled eggs and trina, which in English is tahini, and it's delicious, man. And they have a really solid restaurant there. So for all of the Israelis, they probably know where it is. Every major city, because there's a lot of Israelis that go there when they finish the army, they do a big trip. They either go to South America or they go to Thailand. So because there's a lot of Israelis there, every major city will have like one store where the sign is in Hebrew, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of cool. What else? What else? Oh, you can pet tigers. I think we did that in Phuket, not in Bangkok. But yeah, we it's so weird, dude. It's so weird and sketchy. You go to this place and it's like a bunch of cages, big environments. You walk in and there's just a tiger in there. It's kind of sleepy. And every few minutes, a Thai man will walk in and like tap the tiger on the head with a stick to see how awake it is. Because they have to sedate these tigers so that they don't murder you. And if the tiger's a little too awake, they'll go, okay, everyone leave. We have to put this one back to sleep. Yeah, it gets a little wild over there. But it was cool. We like pet a tiger, pet a baby tiger, like a little tiger cub. It was a super cool experience. Again, it's like morally questionable to do that to animals, but you know, they gotta make money somehow, man. What are you gonna do?
Well, the baby tiger too, man.
Yeah. It's the Wild West there, man. It's a feeling of like almost complete freedom. And so there's like a yin and a yang there. One, you're totally free, but two, if something bad happens to you, there's not really such good infrastructure to deal with it. So we went to this place where you had to rappel down a bit of a mountain to get to this pond, which is like a really cool sort of secret area. But if you fall, you're just fucked. There's no hospital there in that area. So you can't fall. So you have the freedom to do this really, really cool thing. But then you also there's nothing to save you in case you fuck up. So there's like it's a really interesting feeling, which you don't really get in the States, for example. In the States you feel safe, but you also feel a little controlled. There you feel unsafe, but you feel completely free. It's a trade-off.
So, what do you have any last words for the viewers?
If you're what would you say like the demographic is of your viewership? Like the primary demographic? Like young men?
I would say like 18, around like 35 to 40.
If you're broke, that's not a good thing. And get your money up is not good advice because it's too vague. You can learn to code on your own, or you can take a program. There are boot camps across the country that will only make you pay after you get a job, for example. That's one thing you can do. If you want to be a programmer, just fucking do it. That's a really good way to make money, especially now because everything's in tech. And you once you learn programming in one language, you can learn it in any language. So if you take a boot camp and you don't find a job that you like, let's say you want to move into crypto instead, crypto's coded just like any other programming software. So if you learn Python first, then you could go learn Selenium or go learn, I think Selenium is, but yeah, you could code whatever Ethereum is coded in and then produce your own crypto projects. You can do kind of anything once you have the skill. So I chose programming because it was efficient. My brother had already done it before me, so I had like a guideline. But get a skill, make your fucking money, and then go fuck off to Thailand.
So, Dylan, where can they actually find more about you,
Kind of nowhere, honestly. You can find me Dylan Warsoff on Instagram. That's DYLANWORSOFF. I tried to make videos before, but never really fully committed to it. Maybe I'll start at some point. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Also, you can find me on Discord. It's positive with a bunch of underscores underneath. I'm in. I'll be in like the Fresh and Fit Discord, the Destiny Discord, and yeah, that's about it.
Also, speaking of Discord, guys, I actually do have a Discord server. It will be in the description box below, so check it out. So, without further ado, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you for stopping by, Dylan. And thanks for everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll see you guys from around the world, man. Have a good one.